Closer, cannot wait. It's the A's, it's the Halos, game 3 of the 4-game set. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you after the ball game.
Feels like summer in Southern California. Look at those palm trees swaying in the wind. Get ready for game 3 here tonight at the Big A between the Athletics and the Angels. And it was big time offense for the Athletics yesterday that evened up the series. They are back at 500. Hello, everyone. We welcome you to the booth. Jenny Kavnar with Dallas Braden. And after a great pitcher's duel in game 1, it was really nice to see this A's offense click early with 6 runs in the third and then often late in the game.
Yeah, you got an outpouring of support on the mound, and that was supported by what happened with the offense, Jenny. You're talking about an absolute bludgeoning of the baseball, and it started early, and it just persisted throughout the ball game. Nick Kurtz had himself a monster night. There was big hits in big spots. Speaking of big hits, Britton Rooker himself and Zach Galloff alike had a couple long balls, and Nick Kurtz, that 5 RBI night, but it was the big hits, Jenny, with 2 outs. 12 of the 14 runs scored last night for the Green and Gold came with 2 outs. You want to talk about stepping up and driving runs in important moments. The A's did just that.
Yeah, it's a good identity that this A's offense has been building here in the 2026 campaign. Hopefully some run support again tonight for Aaron Savali on the bump. Man, has he been good this year.
This dude's been fantastic. You want to talk about stepping up offensively with 2 outs, with runners in scoring position. Aaron Savali has embodied that on the mound. This is a dude who has been able to bear down and make big pitches when you need to. You look over the last few outings or so, I mean, the last 4 starts for Savali have been fantastic. 3-0 in terms of the win-loss, just 3 earned runs allowed over those 21 innings that he has logged in those 4 starts. And with runners in scoring position, the opponent, a big, fat goose egg, 0 for 16 with a threat on the base path. This dude has been dynamic and dialed in.
He will look for win number 6. The A's will look to get over 500 with another win against the Halos. Let the offense keep on rolling down here in SoCal. We got lineups. First pitch coming for you next.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
A's fans enjoying Southern California. Why not stay all week? After the Angels, they'll head down to San Diego to face the Padres over the weekend. Athletics looking to continue their winning ways on the road trip. Got on the board yesterday with a 14-6 final. Great to see the offense arrive. Game time weather brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 84 degrees. Beautiful evening for baseball here in Anaheim. 20% humidity. And Dallas, I can tell you've been outside today because
wow,
your head's a little red.
Well, you know what? I was doing a little beekeeping this morning, and you're right. This solar panel may have been fully charged by about noon or so. Mother Nature and the sun, Jenny, both undefeated.
They certainly are. But it's great to see clear skies, not a cloud in the area, and just another gorgeous backdrop for baseball here tonight. These Athletics are going to try and do a lot of what they did last night. They'll have to do it against Jack Kohanowitz and crew tonight. He'll be the starting pitcher for the Halos as they take the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Athletics tonight. It's Carlos Cortez leading off again. Shea Langoliers is the catcher. Then it's Nick Kurtz. Had a 5 RBI game yesterday. Brent Rooker's the DH. Tyler Soderstrom, Zach Galloff, Jeff McNeil, Henry Bolte slides down along with Daryl Hernandez. These starting lineups brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers.
And the man on the mound tonight here at the Big A, making his 10th start of the season with a 2-3 record. Right-hander, big right-hander, Jack Kohanowitz. 51 in the third innings under his belt. See the ERA, 4.56. Talk a lot about how if you were to play out the entire season. You sport a 4.5 ERA. That's probably a lot of quality starts you're able to log. Well, that just necessarily hasn't been the case for Kahanowitz's last couple outings or so. It's been a little bit of a bumpy ride for the right-hander, but there was a stretch, Jenny, that we'll get into where Kahanowitz was throwing the ball about as well as anybody in baseball, trying to get back on track and get back to that tonight here for the Halos against an Athletics lineup that was on point last night.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Halos tonight. Logan Hoppe doing the catching for the third consecutive game. Nolan Shonwell's at first. Oswald Peraza second. It's Zach Neto at short with Vaughn Grissom at third. Josh Lowe's going to play in left tonight. Mike Troutman center and Joe Adell in right field. There's Kurt Suzuki, first year with the Angels. Of course, the former Athletics catcher and Cal State Fullerton product. Of course, that's where Mark Kotze went to college as well.
And you know, something I forgot to ask Zook, and I'm going to have to circle back with him before we head out of town tomorrow night, is why he has abandoned the Puka necklace.
Puka Power?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a hallmark of his when he first got to the big leagues.
It might have just been a little bit of a job hazard, you know? Wearing that sweatshirt as a manager, trading the jersey.
A little clingy.
There's a strike from Kahanowitz. It's a 1-1 count for Carlos Cortez. Look at those numbers. 349, 417 on base percentage. Seen some power as well. 4 homers from Cortez this year. They'll check down to third. And he didn't go around. Let's take a look at the umpiring crew. Chris Guccione is the crew chief, and he's behind home plate. David Rackley at first, Nestor Ceja at second, and Louis Krupa slides to third. Pitch is swing and a miss, 2-2. Saw the left-handed hitter in Cortez lead off 2 nights ago. Came up 5 times, reached base 4. Had a hit and 3 walks. Now he's playing Plinko with a foul ball over there. Hit the third deck, bouncing down. Around a couple seats in the second. Found a home, don't worry. 2-2, ground ball and fouled on the first baseline.
And very emblematic of a lot of the at-bats you see from Carlos Cortez, which is why I think Mark Kotze, no problem putting him right at the top of the lineup to get the ball game going. He's shown great discipline at times, but has shown the ability to be just an irritant. That ball's out.
Took a close pitch, 3-2. See the green ribbons on the jerseys for the Angels tonight. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And honoring that here at Angel Stadium. Foul ball for Cortez. It's another good reason to put him at the top of the lineup. See some pitches early.
Well, and see if you can't get Kahanowitz to start to expose some of that arsenal sooner rather than later. It's not a terribly deep arsenal. 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and a sinker. So a couple different fastballs, but it's a sinker-heavy deployment, which is why Kahanowitz, no problem getting the guys on the ground.
Pitch 8, and a swing and a miss. Gets Cortez on the changeup. 1 gone.
Well, Jenny, you introduced us to the entire umpiring crew. Let's really get to meet Chris Guccione. Excelled at football and the shot put, believe it or not, at Salida High in Salida, Colorado.
That's right.
This season's become very stingy at the top of the strike zone, however, and he has been overturned his fair share. 57% of the challenges he's been overturned. Now Salida, is that near Centennial? Where's Salida?
No, Salida's a beautiful place. In fact, you know a guy from Salida who happens to be a part of the staff for the Athletics. He was an all-star.
Look out.
Oh. She's helmet off. Looking at it, checking it. And he'll take all the gear off to head down to first. Hit by pitch for Shea. Put one on for Kahanowitz.
Breaking ball that just spits out of the back of the hand right off that elbow pad. Sounded a lot worse than it was.
It did, especially as the helmet was coming off right as the ball hit the elbow pad. All is well. Smiling with Nolan Shonwell at first. 19 straight games reaching base. Continued the streak yesterday with a couple of walks. He also scored a run. Here's Nick Kurtz. It was a great offensive outburst for the A's, and Nick Kurtz was right in the middle of it.
No.
2-0. So back to trivia. You think you know who it is yet?
What? I'm sorry. What was the?
Salida, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
A's staff member. He was an All-Star a couple years ago. He likes to be in the weight room.
Oh no. Okay. I thought you were talking like field staff. Yeah. Our man Cuffy.
Yeah, Cuffy.
Yes.
Cuffy's from Colorado, so.
Yeah. I was like, I was running through the Rolodex thinking, well, no, I had a pretty good idea of where all these fellas are from.
Strength and conditioning coach. Got to go to the All-Star game. Very cool.
Strength and conditioning coordinator.
That's right.
The leader of that group.
That's right.
He's driving the muscle bus, folks. Josh Cuffy.
And he is this guy in tip-top shape. You know, Kurtz can muscle one out of the yard. Got the vision on point, too. Getting on base at a high clip. And he'll walk.
Well, Nick Kurtz once again on base. 43 straight ball games. It's nice to get that one out of the way early. We're going to have a little chit chat on the mound. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injuries of Ashton and injury attorneys of Ashton and Price, excuse me. But how about this list, Jenny? He just continues to climb it.
Your man Ping Bodie tied him up.
Do you still have the ticket stub from that game?
1917. That was a great name.
Ping
Bodie. 43 consecutive games reaching base for Nick Kurtz.
Well, we kind of talked about the outings for Konowitz here as of late. His last two outings, Jenny, 13 earned runs. Not great, excuse me, 12, 13 total. 12 earned runs.
Pitch to Brent Rooker. Missing, and he's ahead 1-0. Last night, it was a big blast.
It sure was. Got a pitch right in the heart of the plate and did not miss.
7th homer of the season for Rooker. This is chopped over the pitcher's head. Charging in will be Peraza, can't make a play. Everybody's safe and bases loaded now for Tyler Soderstrom.
I think that'll go down as a knock in the book. Brent Rooker hustling Peraza, and it will indeed, if you're scoring at home, go down a hit. High chopper over the mound. Peraza trying to close the gap. Just couldn't make a clean exchange here from glove to hand. It was going to be a close play either way, but A's got a little something cooking here. On the top of the first, Tyler Soderstrom taking a good pass at a fastball to start his at bat. But Jenny, I mentioned the last two starts. Well, he's got 2 career starts against the Athletics. Not so much. 11 earned runs over 8 innings.
This one back towards the same place, but it'll get through to the outfield. Langoliers plated. In comes Kurtz. A 2-0 lead for the green and gold here in the first. Tyler Soderstrom with the 2 RBI single.
Get it cooking early. See the frustration on the face of Kahanowitz already. And in back-to-back at-bats. Ball up the middle. This one is going to find the outfield. Langoliers parked at third, no problem scoring. And Nick Kurtz coming in behind him. Love to see that line get moving here, Jenny, and offense being generated with less than 2 outs tonight.
Yes. We've seen a lot of 2-out RBI, not a bad thing. Open in against Zach Geloff. It'll knock his helmet off.
Well, and that's the second breaking ball that Kahanowitz has missed badly with arm side. That can tell you a couple different things. Just a little quick on the front side for Kahanowitz mechanically, probably under the baseball as well. And for a guy who has had at least 1 walk in every start of the season, trying to reel it in, going to need to reel it in quickly.
26 total walks now with the one he issued to Nick Kurtz. A swing and a miss for Geloff. 1-1.
Well, we just showed you the Rooker homer. Geloff popped him. Ball driven backside off the digital scoreboard.
Did you check all the light bulbs out there today? Make sure everything's okay.
They're bulbing.
2-1 now. Geloff joined Kurtz with a 3-hit evening, season high for him. So drove in 3 runs. Three and one now.
Well, Kohanowitz has just not been able to pin down the strike zone with either fastball. The four-seamer has not been able to land. Trouble with the sinker here in a spot where he'd love to be able to get himself a ground ball, but right now just hasn't been able to command much of anything.
This will be pitch 25 here in the first inning. And a ground ball up the middle. Peraza off to play it. The bounce off the base to second on to first. And the Angels able to turn the double play. But not before the Athletics scored 2 off the bat of Tyler Soderstrom. Runs aboard for Aaron Savali, a 2-0 lead for the A's. And now let's get in the starting lineup, brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers for the Halos. It's Neto, Trout, Shonawell tonight at the top of the order. Then Jorge Soler, Grissom, Adele, Peraza, Ohapi, and Josh Lowe.
Aaron Savali, this dude has been about as good as you could hope for to begin this season. 10th start of the night tonight, sporting a 5-1 record. What we have really talked about, and I think what has really drawn the attention of folks who've been watching a lot of A's baseball this year, is just how well Aaron Savali has been able to navigate traffic, whether it's self-induced with a free pass here or there, which there haven't been a ton of, or it's by virtue of the offense being able to find ways on base. Aaron Savali has really kind of been his own stopper at times.
1-1 for Neto. Hard to believe he didn't fire off at the first pitch. A guy that swings a lot early.
Well, against a guy like Savali too, it's going to be difficult, I think, because there's a multitude of pitches that you have to game plan for, and the fact that he will throw anything at any time.
And a swing and a miss. Throws the curveball, gets Neto to go around, and a strikeout for Savali will be the first out. Let's take a look at the defense behind him, should he need them. Shea Langoliers doing the catching. Nick Kurtz at first. It's Jeff McNeil at second. Daryl Hernandez at short. Zach Geloff at third. It's Soderstrom, Volte, and Cortez in the outfield, left to right. And there's Mark Kotze. Mentioned the Cal State Fullerton product. His 5th season now as the manager of the Athletics. Grew up coming here. Grew up watching some games here. Also Dodger Stadium, kind of Whittier, the area he grew up in, split right in the middle of the two. And Trout with a ground ball but fouled on the third baseline. Think he ever thought when he was 8, 9 years old that he'd one day be the manager of a team in that first base dugout?
I think you can start a little early before his managerial career. He knew he was going to be a big leaguer. I think each and every guy out there you talk to will tell you the same. But I think throughout your playing career, you start to develop a sense of what this game has given you and what you've been able to take away from the game. And the fact that Mark Kotze has the knowledge that he does, he's somebody who wants to be able to share that knowledge and impart that wisdom. And we're talking about a guy who spent half his adult life in a big league uniform. There's so much to learn from an individual with his experience. And I think what's really special is Mark Kotze understands the value of being in the room, being in the dugout, the clubhouse, and how nice it is to have somebody of his ilk that wants to teach this game, wants to be a part of the next wave of talent coming through baseball.
Here's the 3-2 to Trout. That'll miss, and Trout will take his base.
You know, something I want to make sure that is abundantly clear here is I am not speaking directly about Mark Kotze's situation. But I think in general, what we understand as an industry, especially from the staff perspective, is you strike gold when you find somebody like Mark Kotze that wants to be around a team each and every day, because frankly, I think being able to compensate those individuals the way that you'd like to see them compensated doesn't always necessarily happen in terms of pay, whether that be a manager, a pitching coach, the extra hitting coach, the strength conditioning guy, whoever it may be. But there's so much to offer. And I think at times you have Hall of Famers that you'd love to have around. You got to make it worth their while, but they've also said, you know what? I've spent a lot of time on the diamond. I don't know that I'm ready to be able to commit this kind of time to the game again.
Shawna will swing and a miss. With the curveball, 1-2.
He's got that banger rolling. And when this curveball is on point, things really start to open up for Savali, because he can not only steal strikes, he can put you away with it like we saw him do with the leadoff hitter Neto.
And the 1-2. Lifted in the air. Right side. The infield, McNeil with the second out.
And once again, McNeil. I love it. I love it. Well, he's looking at Kurtz. He looks into the dugout like, hey, was that an opportunity? I don't know. Maybe. And what we're talking about is something that we saw earlier in this series where McNeil, see him, he instantly takes stock of where Shawna was down the line, where Kurtz was.
Popped up again. This time it's going to get out of play.
I want to make sure folks can appreciate having a baseball grinder like we have Jeff McNeil, how fun that is to be able to watch on a night in, night out basis.
The flying squirrel. The 1 to Soler, and another strike. It really is, because you can imagine as a kid the excitement, right? The excitement to get to the ballpark, to play your little league game, to practice, whatever it might be. And you fast forward as an adult, you make this your profession, and to have the same excitement to get to the yard, to talk the game, to, you know, the place he's in, to mentor young players. When he came over here, that was the situation with Jacob Wilson. It continues to be with Daryl Hernandez.
Well, I think Jeff McNeil's a guy too who, look, he's got a lot of interest outside of the game of baseball. He could probably spend a year really sharpening his skill set and find himself on the Champions Tour on the golf course. But a guy with a...
And just foul.
Himself a guy with a ton of information that I think would be imparted on young players and they could benefit from.
Savali looking to get out of the first here with Mike Trout on first. The 0-2 hit well out to left field. Tyler Soderstrom on the move and gone. A home run for Jorge Soler has evened things up in the first. It's 2-2.
Well, unfortunately, by the time this curveball came down, it was a souvenir. This one just sat up a little too long in the strike zone. And Jorge Soler hammered it. I mean, this is middle, center cut, thigh high. Savali knew it off the crack of the bat. And it looks like Soler knew it too.
Home run number 9 for Soler.
This one almost ended up in a windshield.
It's the 4th home run of the month that Savali has allowed, 7 total on the season. This one should stay in the yard, shallow left. In comes Soderstrom. And have to wait for it to come down. Finally does, and that'll be the final out of the first. 2 scored to even it up off the Jorge Soler home run. Season and stream the games on the NBC Sports app, brought to you by Toyota.
Oh, bro. You trying to go throw some buckets? Trying to get barreled, bro? Yeah.
I knew you were busy this morning. Still got water dripping out of that beard. Kohanowitz back to work. Jeff McNeil, Henry Bolte, Daryl Hernandez will have the bottom of the order. Athletics trying to get a couple runs back. Scored 2 in the first, and then Jorge Soler tied it up with a 2-run homer. One and one for McNeil. A multi-hit effort yesterday. Scored 2 of the 14 runs for the Athletics. That was a season high. There's umpire time.
Yeah, just gonna reset.
Ground ball to second. Brazo fielded cleanly, 1 gone.
Well, I talked about the arsenal for Kohanowitz, but again, that pitch, much like we've talked about with JT Ginn, is a pitch that he's going to need to be able to dial in if he's going to get deep into a ball game on any given night. But it's a pitch that, not only with the movement, high velocity, makes it difficult to barrel up.
Happy birthday, JT Ginn.
That's right, birthday boy.
I mean, so much to celebrate for JT. Announced that he's going to be a dad. Has 8 innings of no-hit baseball. We won't talk about the 9th. And now a birthday.
Yeah, have yourself a week, my man.
He's been so great in the rotation. You had what Aaron Savali's done. 5 wins on the mound today.
I was talking with the great Tim Salmon, talking to Fish, talking to Gooby today before the ball game.
Dropping Hall of Famers names around, or
Mark Langston as well. Just an outstanding left-hander. 7-time Gold Glover. 4-time All-Star. Dude was just nasty. But all 3 very complimentary of the ball game that JT Ginn had. There they are.
7-time Gold Glover, Mark Langston, and a walk for Henry Bolte. I'll put one on with 1 out. Daryl Hernandez coming up, and let's flash back to the brilliance of the right-hander on Monday.
It was superb all night long, but something, and I mean, to hear a guy like Tim Salmon talk so highly of what he saw, and I mean, he echoed the sentiments of the likes of Mike Trout, Kurt Suzuki, who both were very complimentary of JT Ginn. Oh my, just put it in your pocket, oh Hoppy, no shot. You want to talk about a jump? My goodness. I think Bolte was standing on second base before the ball got home. Look at this. Step off, step off, never mind. Goodness.
Second stolen base for Bolte. Jet side 1-1 for Hernandez.
But to hear Tim Salmon talk about how difficult it looked just to pick the baseball up, let alone get a bat to it, all of them very impressed.
That was the first one against Kohanowitz this year.
Which I think is odd when you think about the amount of time it takes him to get home. See that leg kick, and you know things can vary from runner on first to runner on second base, but that's a lot of human being to get going down the mound there. Jenny, I think at times what happens is when you've got a guy who's struggling to command the baseball, he's trying to figure out how to throw strikes, and any traffic on the base path kind of becomes a secondary focus.
And he'll walk Daryl Hernandez back-to-back walks, 3 total issued, and we are just in the second inning.
Well, again, this was a problem. Meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Mike Maddox going to come on out and try to slow down the big right-hander. I mean, he's walked as many as 5 this season in a ball game. That happened in his very first outing against the Astros. He's walked 4 a couple times. I mean, it's just a situation with his weapons and his arsenal. You want to make it important to him that he doesn't have to go that route.
Well, now let's get a quick word from Smud.
Smud's Clean Power City movement is happening. Hundreds of thousands are taking action, driving electric, making clean power choices, and saving money with Smud rebates. Together, we're changing the world. For 99 ways to join the charge, visit cleanpowercity.org.
2 on, 1 out for Carlos Cortez. Back to the beginning. Carlos struck out, but the walks have been a problem for the Angels all season long. 229. That's 3rd most in baseball. We know the A's have had their own struggles with them. They sit 6th in the game with the most. Into left field, Cortez. It'll be a stop sign for Bolte, but a bobble out by Lowe will bring Bolte home. A's have the advantage 3-2. And shocking Dallas, it was an opposite field hit from Cortez.
Right? That's odd. Carlos Cortez hit it where it's pitched. Ball up, just kind of slapped the other way over to left field. And Lowe unable to come up with it cleanly, like he was ready to make the throw before he had the baseball. Unfortunately for he and the Angels, that'll go single E7.
.30 errors for the Angels this season has been a big problem.
Well, Bolte had to hit the brakes here at 3rd, but once Bobby Crosby saw the ball get through Lowe, got him going, had to hold up Daryl Hernandez at 3rd.
0-1 to Shea Langoliers. Count evened up. 2 in scoring position for Shea.
And this is where, from a hitter perspective, you see the struggle right now for Kohanowitz to land anything. And I think about trying to do yourself a favor. I mean, there's probably one side of the plate you're looking for, especially with the sinker for Kohanowitz. I'm looking middle in, trying to burn something.
Into right field, fly ball charging in will be Joe Adell. And too shallow for Hernandez to be able to tag and go home. Second out. Still an opportunity with 2 outs. That's where the A's did most of their damage yesterday. 12 of the 14 scored with 2 outs. And now you have the right man at the plate in Nick Kurtz. And guess what the Angels are going to say to that?
Yeah, no thank you. We will try our luck against Brent Rooker.
It's an intentional walk of Nick Kurtz. Bases will be loaded for Rooker.
Well, and now this right here, Jenny, this could very well be an at-bat you circle for Brent Rooker, because there's no doubt that he's taken some offense to this internally. You'd rather load the bases with 2 outs than face Nick Kurtz? Okay. It's me you say you want to go after? Okay.
Rooker got on with an infield single in the first. Dials back the first pitch. The A's have made Kohanowitz pay for the free pass mistakes so far with their 3 runs. Hit by pitch and a walk turned into 2 in the first. One of the walks here in the second has turned into a run. Here's the 0-2. We'll take it outside. Ground ball chopped towards third. Have to play a low hop for Grissom, and he got it over to first in time. So they leave the bases loaded, but they got to run across. They're up 3-2.
It's powered by Google Cloud. We're going to show you how Aaron Savali over his last couple outings, Jenny, has gone about getting those outs. 10 innings, 12 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 punch outs, 29 total outs. And the fact that, I want you to look at this. There's 4 pitches, the 3 at the bottom, the 1 at the very top. So that's 4.
Jo Adell swings at the first pitch, deep to left field. And we have a tied game. A home run for Jo Adell. That's 7 on the season. And frustrating because this homestand, Dallas, he was 1 for 17 coming into that AB.
Jo Adell taking out a little frustration. But I think based on what we were just starting to talk about and where this pitch was here, 89, middle up. And the point I was going to make was the ability to compete in the strike zone and be able to get outs in the strike zone tells you how well things have gone for Savali. It's also a reason why you're able to have success as a guy who might not have necessarily overpowering stuff to lean on. You have to be able to compete in and around the strike zone consistently.
Popped up out of play.
But obviously at times if you throw a lot of strikes, you could very well end up making mistakes in the strike zone. And well, what you just saw there off the bat of Adell is a byproduct of that.
To right field, Carlos Cortez will head to his left and close to the line. He'll make the grab.
And so this is kind of what I'm getting at. Our folks over at StatCast are going to show you the different velocities that Savali's bringing to the table as well. Those 2 fastballs at the very front leading the charge, the 4-seamer and the sinker. We know that Savali leans heavily on the cut fastball, but the splitter, the slider, and then that big curveball down there pulling up the rear end, 77 miles an hour. But as you saw on the graphic prior, each and every one of those pitches he can land in the zone and he can put you away with, and has had a lot of success in doing so these last couple times out.
2-0 count for Logan O'Hoppe. Coming off a multi-hit game yesterday. Had a single and a double. Those are pretty good looking numbers his last 4 starts, especially that record. Able to record 3 wins in those 4 starts.
And again, those 2 numbers at the bottom. 24 hits allowed in 21 innings, but the 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position. As we've highlighted, navigating traffic.
Called strike 3-2. And the payoff pitch misses, a walk for O'Hoppe. Second walk of the ball game for Savali.
Close pitch, just down.
O'Hoppe on first. It'll bring up the left fielder and Josh Lowe. Lefty hitting ninth today, came in as a pinch hitter yesterday. Swings at the first pitch, a high drive out towards right center field and gone. Two-run homer, and the Angels have a 5-3 lead, all off of 3 home runs.
The Halos right now putting a hurting on the baseball, and it's just been a matter of some mislocation. Fastballs in real estate. Location, location, location. That one right down Broadway.
Pitching for a strike against Zach Neto. The Angels are a team that really hadn't hit a lot of home runs here in their home ballpark at the Big A. Just 14 of them coming into the series against the Athletics. Neto had the 2-run homer that was the game winner, the walk-off winner in Game 1. Yesterday we saw a home run from Mike Trout. And now the 3 home runs today from Soler, Adele, and Lowe.
When there's some guys in this lineup that have some serious thump.
Here's the 0-2 to Neto. Popped up. Kurtz going back towards the grass. He'll be met by Cortez, but Kurtz will call for it and make the catch. 2 gone.
You know, you look up and down the lineup. I mean, we know about what Mike Trout is capable of, no questions asked. But even Logan O'Hoppe down at the bottom of the lineup, there's some serious thump there in the bat of O'Hoppe. Joe Adele, Jorge Soler, both a couple guys who have homered tonight, but I think, you know, 30+ homer potential.
I think that's what's been so puzzling about the Angels so far this season. Worst record in baseball, just the 17 wins. Haven't been able to put the offense together on the same night. One and one now for Trout. I mean, look at that. Last 10 games, Mike Trout's hitting 143. I get it. Every good player in this game goes through slumps. Did have the homer yesterday. Skied high on the left side. Geloff. Toe the line, make the catch. That'll end the second. 2 more home runs, 3 more runs scored for the Angels. They're up by 2.
Fans, you can make a splash with another Sacramento Saturday. That's May 30th. The Yankees are going to be in town. You can be one of the first through the gates to snag a premium A's beach towel. Available only while supplies last. Visit athletics.com/promotions to secure yours today.
Tyler Soderstrom fouling off the first pitch. Jack Kohanowitz working in the 3rd inning now. 46 pitches through those first 2 frames. We've seen a seesaw affair offensively so far.
And his offense doing what the A's were able to do last night for the man on the mound for the Athletics.
Here's the 0-2. Soderstrom fouls this back and out of play.
You know, we saw Detmers, who did get through 6 innings, do his level best to try to preserve the bullpen to the extent that he could. I think there was a moment in that ball game where you just weren't sure if he was going to make it out of it early.
It's pitch 50 now for Kohanowitz. And there's Detmers. Did go 5 2/3, pitching into the 6th yesterday. 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. He was rolling early too. Dallas retired the first 7 batters.
Yeah, what punched out the first 5 out of 6 hitters' face as Tyler Soderstrom down on strikes for out number 1.
Yeah, 5 out of the first 6 strikeouts yesterday, and then the hits piled up.
Sinker with some good finish to it.
1 out, and now Zach Geloff up. Grounded into a double play that ended the first inning.
It's the second at bat now. He's started Zach Geloff off with a breaking ball that misses arm side.
Geloff high and out to right field. Joe Adell there for the catch. Two gone. That'll bring up Jeff McNeil. I'm sure for a pitcher, when your team answers back, gives you the lead, you get back out there, you feel like you have a fresh start in a way.
Well, you do. You know, and I think if you're able to fill up the strike zone, it kind of...
McNeil out towards right field, but foul.
It kind of helps you wipe away the first inning or so, wherever you experience the damage. And for Kohanowitz, 3 runs given up over the first 2 innings of his outing. This could very well be that fresh start he's looking for.
With a swing and a ground ball foul.
And I think for your teammates offensively, it can be frustrating when you're able to jump out to an early lead, feel like you're going to have a guy on the ropes quickly, and then unfortunately your pitcher goes out and gives up a few runs to allow them to answer back.
And McNeil with the swing and a miss. Into the heater for Kohanowitz. That's 3 strikeouts. Clean third inning. We'll go to the bottom half. With over 100 new articles posted every week, the go-to source for all your favorite teams is still NBCSportsCalifornia.com. Fans enjoying the atmosphere here at the Big A. Taking in a ball game on a Wednesday night. 4-game set between the Athletics and the Angels. The Angels won on Monday. There's your buddy Jack.
There it is.
See Jack before the game. Road trip Mike. Okay, Mahler. And a fair ball for Nolan Shonowell. It's going to bounce around in the right field corner as Cortez goes to grab it, and a double to lead off the third.
Well, Angels taking advantage of some pitches that have just kind of stayed in the heart of the strike zone so far. Shonowell gets around this, tugs it down that right field line. Cortez able to dig it out, but not before Shonowell's ends up on second base, excuse me.
Jorge Soler with the runner in scoring position, swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. We had the 2-run homer that opened up the scoring for the Angels in the first inning. And a check swing foul.
Well, this one wasn't cheap, no doubt. Just a hanging breaking ball. Curveball that didn't do much except for just kind of sit. And Soler sauced it out of the ballpark.
Here's the 0-2. A drive out towards right. And Cortez will come in to make the catch. Shonowell tags up. He heads towards third. The throw in there, it hits Shonowell. A bad break for Cortez. He threw it in quickly.
I mean, he did everything right. Everything right. A great job of getting behind this baseball, playing through it with the momentum, and I mean, it doesn't get more online than right off the backside of Shonowell, who goes into a headfirst slide into third base just after getting drilled in the lower back. I mean, that ball is going to be a one-hop strike to Geloff. That was a great effort.
On Grissom up, and he'll take a strike.
Unfortunately, right now for the Athletics, that's just kind of how the ball's been bouncing.
And Shonwell was hit by a pitch yesterday. That was in the batter's box. Odd one on the base path. He's 90 feet from home. Check swing. This is in play left side. Geloff cutting off Hernandez. He had it first after checking the run or two gone. That was a weird one, huh?
Well, you can see just the check swing initially, but Geloff, you know, look, as a third baseman, we talk to be aggressive and try to get to everything he can. And in this instance, it ends up right in front of Darell Hernandez.
Joe Adell swings at the first pitch out to left field, and Soderstrom on the run will make the catch. Shonwell left at third, and we'll move on to the fourth. They have a little work to do, down by 2.
A's Baseball is brought to you by the injury attorneys at Ashton and Price, Northern California's injury law firm.
First pitch to Henry Bolte from Jack Kohanowitz missing. Bolte, a 1-0 count. He walked in the second and scored the third run of the game for the Athletics. They trail 5-3. The Angels have been hitting the ball out of the ballpark tonight. Interesting note, though, for the Athletics, Dallas, is the Halos have allowed their opponent to score first now in 15 straight games, including tonight. In those games, just 5-24. That's the record when the other team scores first.
There's a lot of ball game left,
a lot of ball
especially
game.
the way that these two offenses have swung the bat to open things up here.
2-2 now. I'd say it's been a good and very busy first week in the big leagues for Henry Bolte.
No question.
Logged his first double yesterday. It bounced over the wall in left field. Seen him score a lot of runs, find a way on base, stolen a couple bases, including tonight. Speed, athleticism, all on display. A late swing and miss off the sinker. The first out of the fourth. That's 4 strikeouts now for Kohanowitz.
Kohanowitz able to work this thing glove side with a little late life back to the corner. I think out of the hand, Bolte may have thought it was going to be a ball, but close enough. You got a battle.
First pitch strike to Darell Hernandez.
Darell Hernandez coming off a great homestand. 8 for 18. And over his last 8 games has been swinging it well, especially after a bit of a struggle. You see the frustration there from Darell. But you know, we saw Carlos Cortez. I mean, Brent Rooker hit the shelf, step up and fill a void. And it feels like Darell Hernandez has done a pretty good job of doing the same with Jacob Wilson on the shelf.
It's great to see the depth of the 26-man roster at play. Swing and a miss for Hernandez. Kohanowitz goes to the heater. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts now dating back to the third.
And you'd rather not see Kohanowitz start to settle in, because I talked about it to open up the ball game. This dude has an arsenal that can be very tough to get to should he start to find himself around the strike zone consistently, and you saw why. Tough to catch up to that big 4-seamer at the top of the strike zone. You saw Bolte struggle to get to the sinker, and that may be why you see some of that here from Cortez, aggressive early on a fastball, because you just it's tough as a hitter to get off the fastball when it's 96, 97, and especially when it's got some movement to it like that sinker does. You got to be ready to hit the old number 1.
Fly ball out to left. Josh Lowe coming in. Another 1, 2, 3 innings. 7 straight retired now for Kohanowitz.
in Las Vegas is right around the corner. For only $19 and a penny, you can secure priority access to the 2028 season tickets at the future A's ballpark. Get early access to everything A's, including a chance at season tickets ahead of the general public. And with this, remember, you're also contributing directly to youth softball and baseball initiatives throughout Southern Nevada. So to secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
First pitch to Peraza out towards center field. It's going to bounce it towards the wall. Bolte will play it off. And it's a double to start the fourth.
Peraza, no waiting around. Somali just trying to get ahead of the Halos here. Peraza catches a cutter outer third, pounds it up that left center alley. And now in as many innings, the Halos would lead off doubles. Shawnuel back in the third. And Peraza here to start the fourth.
Pocono Hoppy also ambushing to center field. Bolte will catch it on the run going back towards the track, and that'll move Peraza up 90 feet.
They've gotten him on, they've gotten him over. Now up to Lowe to try to get him in. Lowe was able to drive Ohapi in back in the second with a 2-run shot after Adele's leadoff homer to start the second inning. 3 homers tonight for the Halos here, still just the 4th inning.
They're 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position as Josh Lowe steps into the left side of the batter's box. A swing and a miss, and they'll
got him. Oh!
Back down to third. Too bad you weren't making the call on the field. Mark Kotze had a similar feeling. They're going to check its side.
Well, and I think they're going to take a look.
Check, yep.
Because it's a matter of where this right hand for Peraza is.
The Athletics are challenging the safe call at third base.
Yeah, and I think they got him. I think the tag is on the hip before that right hand gets to the bag here. You see the hand? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well out. Not even close. Tag doesn't get to the hip. It gets to the back of Peraza, right on the nameplate. But you can still see the hand of Peraza not on the third base bag.
Waiting for New York to get the final answer into the crew chief and Chris Cuccione.
I mean, what a great effort by Shea Langoliers. And you see Peraza trying to go back to third base in fair territory, which is textbook, and it's in an effort to do just that, which is take away the throwing lane from Shea Langoliers. But a great job by Zach Geloff to not only get the ball, which is on the inside of the infield, but get the ball and get the tag down. He's got to reach back across himself and get the tag on Peraza as quickly as possible. So you see him come trotting down the line, and what you see is Peraza just a little too late to get out on that right front foot down the line. Just a half step.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner's out.
Yeah.
Athletics will retain their challenge.
Well, time now for the All-State good hands play of the ball game. Langoliers up out of the squat and firing a shot down to the hot corner. Geloff with a great tag right before Peraza can get to the bag. Talk about having some good hands. Kurt Suzuki out now chatting with Louis Krupa. And I think what Kurt Suzuki might be questioning is whether or not Zach Geloff is blocking third base. And I think Kurt Suzuki might be wondering if he can get Louis Krupa to ask for a little help, ask them to take a look at it. I don't think he's going to like his answer.
Chris Cuccione, the crew chief's going to head down now to be part of the conversation.
Well, you can see Zach Geloff's foot enters that path prior to having the baseball. And I think that's what Kurt Suzuki's wondering about is, hey, is that something we're going to pay attention to? Is that not something we can talk about? And now I want you to take a look at where the foot for Geloff is, which is down, and the ball's still in flight. And I think that's what Kurt Suzuki was wondering about is, hey, is this not obstruction? Because we see it at second base.
Well, you certainly understand the argument from the Angels dugout, and I have a feeling that the A's would have the very same argument if the script was flipped. But the bottom line, the answer from New York was right, and it is out number 2. A 0-1 count for Lowe, and back to work for Savali. 1-1. Well, you get a leadoff double. You have a runner in scoring position. He moves up to third. You're 90 feet from home and adding another run, and all of a sudden, clear the bases. A one-hopper to second, and that will do it. Hopefully this can give the A's a little momentum in the 5th to get the runs moving.
On authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the whole season covered for you. Visit MLBshop.com/athletics, the official source for your athletics gear.
Shea Langoliers with the strike.
Ooh.
Top of the 5th will be Langoliers, Kurtz, Rooker. So McBat's coming up. A's trail by 2. 19 straight games for Shea reaching. Pitch up and in. It was a hit by pitch that extended the streak for Shea. One and 2 now. We got a guy in Langoliers who's reached in 19 straight. Got a guy in Nick Kurtz right behind him who's reached in 43 straight. I'd say if you're penciled in the lineup behind him, you have a pretty good feeling you might get some stakes that day.
Oh, no doubt. There's going to be base runners.
The game for Kohanowitz started with a couple of free passes, the hit by pitch to Shea, the walk to Kurtz. And Soderstrom did cash in, drove them in. It was a 2-0 lead for the A's. Popped up in the infield. See Kohanowitz pointing to it. Shawnuel will follow the lead, and he'll make the catch. One down will bring up Nick Kurtz. After the Angels answer.
Well, that's a big play, Jenny, that play at third base. I mean, you want to talk about adding insurance on a night where it feels like there's going to be offense. You had a lot of offense early. Every run feels like it's going to matter.
I mean, you play it out. If Kurt Suzuki did have an argument for obstruction.
Well, and I think, I mean, again, the idea is you can't challenge obstruction, but Kurt Suzuki's just trying to get a question answered. Like, hey, are you not seeing what I'm seeing?
Kurtz lays off at 1 and 2.
Again, here it is. Watch the right foot of Geloff down on the dirt prior to possession of the baseball. And I think ultimately Krupa is paying attention to the tag play.
Four-seamer gets Kurtz. 2 gone.
Either way, you'll take it if you're the Athletics. Just want to be able to capitalize now. And that's high octane on the top shelf from Kohanowitz.
6 strikeouts for Kohanowitz. 5 of them coming since the 3rd inning. 1 for 2 for Rooker. Was an infield single. 46 pitches for Kohanowitz through the first 2 innings. Much more efficient the last few, retiring 9 straight. Certainly extended his inning, or his outing, I should say. 80 pitches now, a 1-2 count for Brent Rooker. 2 gone here in the 5th. In the air, lifted out to right field. Joe Adell will move to his right and make the final out of the 5th. Remains 5-3 Angels. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Service Champions. It's 4-game set with the Angels, so that will conclude tomorrow night here in Anaheim, then off to San Diego for 3 over the weekend. Seattle will come into town starting Memorial Day. Hope you can join us in West Sacramento for the Yankees over the weekend. A busy month of May. Can you believe it? May's going to close out next week.
That's incredible. That is
shocking, really.
Tell you what, things are starting to pick up in terms of the season.
Next thing you know, it'll be September. 1-1 as Neto moves away from the inside pitch.
As Johnny Dosko, one of his favorite things to do is after the first game of the year, this season is flying. A
strikeout and a pop out for the leadoff hitter of the Angels today. Ripped into left and a close one foul. Some action for the Athletics in the bullpen as Luis Medina is starting to warm.
Well, pitch count for Savali at 56.
Late swing and a miss, strikeout. It's a good way to start the 5th.
Second time tonight, Neto's been sit down on strikes. This time it's a cutter up under the hands.
That's a lot of strikeouts. 71 now for Neto. It's baseball. Mike Trout with a ground ball over to Kurtz. Field it and jog on over to first. 2 outs.
71 strikeouts in the first 2 months of the season. And we're still not even done with the second month.
Could be record.
Man.
Don't forget the left-handed hitter Nolan Shawnuel with 2 outs. Five pitches for the 2 outs. Sully trying to get back on track as he faces the Halos order for the 3rd time. It was a double for Shawnuel that led off the 3rd inning. Savali and the Athletics defense able to work through it and leave him stranded. A swing and a miss, 1-1. Bottom line, it's been the home runs for Savali. 3 here tonight, providing all 5 runs for the Angels. Ground ball here, and McNeil will field it. 3 up, 3 down. That's a great sign to end the 5th. Weekdays at 5:30, Telemundo has your Northern California news in Spanish. From the latest forecast to what's happening in your community. Join Telemundo in Espanol weekdays at 5:30. 5:30.
I want to shout out Casa de la Famosa. Get it in you, Jenny. Exciting television.
¿Cómo se dice?
Shout out Kirby Zelma.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're all over it. Just a couple of out-getters. Going over some video.
Ground ball dribbler back towards first base, and stepping on the bag will be Shawnuel. Well, the 6'7" righty has certainly settled into things the last couple of innings.
He has, without a doubt. I mean, he went from spraying the baseball to giving up knocks. To slicing and dicing at this point.
11 straight retired with 5 strikeouts. 1-1 here for Zach Geloff. Geloff 0 for 2. A multi-hit day yesterday. 2 singles and a homer. 3 RBIs. He chased Silseth, who picked up the win on Monday night, starting warm. Foul ball for Geloff, 2-2.
And that's part of the reason why, look, I know this is an extremely archaic thought at this point, but when we talk about pitch count, it can be a couple innings, maybe even a few, that it takes a guy to start to settle in. And unfortunately, that number might start to climb early in the outing. But then you put together a couple good, quick innings.
Broken bat, grounder to short, Neto to first, 2 outs.
And you find yourself almost right back in line with where you would be if those first couple innings would have gone a little more efficiently. And unfortunately, that pitch count starts to climb. And the thought is, well, he might be at the end of his night. And I'd like to think sometimes, no. He might actually just start to be getting going. He might just start to be settling in. And once you kind of iron those kinks out, that's where I'd like to pay attention to what I'm seeing on the field as opposed to the numbers. And what I'm seeing on the field are off-balance swings. I'm seeing a guy who's starting to find the strike zone with a little more consistency. The swing and miss is there. You know, but I can also understand and appreciate the value of being able to, in real time, measure certain metrics that we lean on to identify when things are starting to wane, when wear and tear and fatigue just might be setting in. And so I think it's really trying to be able to strike that balance between the metrics that you value to identify the onset of fatigue and still being able to find value in what you're seeing from the opposition and the way the baseball is coming out of the hand. And you might say, well, aren't the metrics telling us how the baseball is coming out of the hand? You're right. But what's also telling is the kind of swings you're getting and what the result at home plate is. And if the result is outs and consistent outs to the tune of now 12 straight retired, I mean, I'm no math major, but it feels like that's 4 innings of pretty dominant work.
And he gets McNeil off the foul tip. Another strikeout added for Kohanowitz to make it 13 straight retired. The 2026 All-Star Teacher Award presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com/AST to check out Susan Say Lee of Pacific Elementary in Sacramento, as well as other finalists, and vote for your All-Star Teacher. The grand prize winning teacher school will receive $30,000. Vote now. Bottom of the 6th, and the Athletics trailing by 2. It's 5-3. And now time for a pitching change with the heart of that Angels order up to bat. Luis Medina in now.
Well, Luis Medina on right now, I think, and understandably so, even though Savali's pitch count still minimal comparatively speaking. 3rd time through the order. And it's going to be his 3rd time through a portion of the order that has been fairly effective in terms of putting the bat on the ball with authority. 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a few long balls for Savali. 61 pitches, as I mentioned, able to get through 5 innings on just those 61 pitches, which kind of speaking to what I was talking about from Kohanowitz's perspective, able to settle in. Just not sure that there was really a settling in, if you will, for Savali tonight, which has been uncharacteristic of what we have seen typically from the right-hander. See Ryan Zefferjohn now starting to get his engine roaring.
Fly ball out towards left center field, and Bolte has a beat on it. Soler retired. That'll bring up Vaughn Grissom with 1 out. Make this clear. I don't think 5 innings is the goal for any starting pitcher, but to your point, able to get through that number. Aaron Savali has now pitched 5 innings or into the 5th inning in all 10 of his starts. 9 of the 10 completing 5 or more.
Yeah, into the 5th inning, not quite the same ring as into the 6th or into the 7th. And I even feel dirty talking about into the 6th these days.
Sure.
But it's understood how the game has evolved.
All 5 runs were scored in the first 2 innings, and then Savali able to settle down, and even with the 2 doubles he allowed in the 3rd and the 4th, runners didn't score. Going to give the A's a chance to come back tonight. How many times have we seen that? Late in the game, on the road, young team with a lot of fight. The A's have won 13 of their last 19 road games, have a winning record on the road at 14-12.
Well, it looked like the night might be done for Kohanowitz.
Fly ball in the air out towards center field, and going towards right will be Bolte for the catch. 2 gone.
All things considered, pretty good outing for Kohanowitz. You know, Jenny, these outings, like you saw from the right-hander tonight, they just feel a little different than should you give up those runs at the end of your outing. Say you go 4 or 5 shutout, and then in your 6th and final inning, you give up a couple, 3 runs maybe. You don't feel as good about it. Kind of leaving the ball game with that sour taste in your mouth. But there's something to be said for giving up damage early and being able to reel your outing in and go out on a high note, as opposed to questioning some of the last pitches you made.
And a liner that's going to land out in left field. It'll bounce towards the corner as Joe Adell heads into second with a 2-out double.
Adell 2 for 3 tonight with a couple hard hit balls. Just want to double down the left field line. Big breaking ball that just stays up. Curveball that kind of hangs. Now let's see if Medina with 2 outs here can't bear down and take care of business against Peraza.
Peraza had a double. He was picked off by Shea Langoliers at third base. Here's the 1-0. First strike off the sinker. $2 to think about some of those teams. Kohanowitz had to face the Dodgers and Toronto, putting up a lot of runs against him his last 2 outings. The Angels hadn't been scoring many runs his last 6 starts. They had lost all of them, only scoring and giving him a run support of 15 runs over those 6 games. So again, when your team fought back for you, gave you 5, I feel like you almost had to have the responsibility of putting up zeros.
You want to capitalize.
Two and two now. Looks like that went off the face mask of Shea. He's so tough back there.
Well, Shea's a pretty sturdy fella.
Medina looking to get out number 3 here in the 6th. 2-2 count. Coming for Peraza. And now it'll be full. Hoppy up on the grass and not in the batter's circle. Not as close to the action, though, as we've seen some other hitters this year. There's a 3-2. Ground ball to shore. This should do it. Hernandez over to Kurtz, and they will leave Joe Adell on. We'll move to the 7th. The Athletics still down by 2.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Downtown Subaru of Oakland, home of pure pricing. Whether it's online or in person, with Pure Price, it's a win-win situation. Visit SubaruofOakland.com.
Here in Anaheim, we go to the 7th inning. Athletics trail by 2, 5-3. All the runs coming in the first 2 innings of the game. A lot of 0 cents. And Ryan Zefferjohn will now come out of the pen for the Halos.
17th appearance for the right-hander this season. Zefferjohn trying to do what he can right now to keep this Athletic offense at bay.
The 1-0 count for Henry Bolte. Walk, a stolen base, scored a run. Things done for Jack Kohanowitz after 6 innings tonight. Really settled in Dallas those last 4 frames.
We did. I think the command was significantly better. And with his arsenal, I think he's a guy that you just stress to. If you can just compete around the strike zone, you're going to have a much easier time getting outs than if you can't land the fastball at all.
3-1 count now for Bolte. A swing and a high fly ball to center field. Mike Trout will make the routine catch. 1 gone.
You can join us this Memorial Day as we honor our heroes at the ballpark. You can be here early to grab a camo hat presented by Budweiser and a camo rally towel for the rest of the fam. Let's fill the stands with green and gold as we salute those who serve. Don't wait. Get your tickets right now at athletics.com/promotions, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
A night game for Memorial Day in West Sacramento with the Mariners in town. Knees pulled back.
Got him.
Excited did. His hands hit by pitch will put Hernandez on, and it'll flip back over to the leadoff hitter and Carlos Cortez. Second Athletic hit by a pitch tonight.
Let's see if Carlos Cortez can do what he did back in the 2nd inning, get a pitch out over the plate he can put in play. Cortez singled back in the 2nd. It was an error by Lowe that allowed Bolte to come around and score. But that's been all the offense mustered by the Athletics since that 2nd inning. Darrell Hernandez, the first base runner for the Athletics since the 2nd inning.
Lugano Hoppy wants to talk things over with Zefferjohn.
He's going to hop on out behind the plate and have a little chit chat in this meeting on the mound, brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. You know, Hoppy understands the last thing you want to do right now is put guys on base. You've got guys coming up behind Cortez that can make you pay. Cortez in his own right a threat to do damage, but you've got Langoliers lurking on deck. Nick Kurtz waiting in the hole. Brent Rooker and Sodi behind him. Geloff, who's hit the ball well as of late. I mean, this is just a portion of this Athletics lineup that you do not want to test with guys on base.
Zephyr had this portion of the lineup on Monday night when it was a scoreless affair. Came in for that 9th inning. That's when the A's were able to build their only run that night. Walked a couple of guys, including Carlos Cortez. And now a 3-0 count. And he will walk again. Did that hit him, Dallas?
Yes.
With the foot, so 2 hit by pitches back to back.
Well, and this is why Kurt Suzuki's on his way out. This off the back foot of Cortez, and you can see Cortez not terribly excited about how it felt. You'll take the base runners, though, as Kurt Suzuki's going to take Zephyr out of the ball game. 2 on, 1 out. We'll be back right after this.
Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Nighttime here in Anaheim, right up the coastline there. Beautiful look. 5-3 game in the top of the 7th, and a pitching change for the Halos.
It's going to be Sam Bachman on 17th appearance for the right-hander. And the reason that Sam Bachman is in the ball game is he has got a sinker that has done work.
Langelier swings the first pitch, a high fly ball out to left, right where Josh Lowe is. That's going to be the second out.
Well, first pitch slider that Langelier's offers at. Able to get the fly out. Nobody moves up.
All right, let's channel those 2 out RBIs that the Athletics were able to pile on yesterday with Nick Kurtz coming up.
Well, first base is occupied. Kurt Suzuki going to have to face the big fella this time around.
Look at that, 484 with runners in scoring position for Nick Kurtz, second only to Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays. A first pitch strike off that sinker you were talking about.
Well, Jenny, the sinker has been a devastating offering for Bachman. Just 1 hit allowed on that pitch this year so far.
A swing and a miss for Kurtz.
The changeup following out of that same window as the sinker just bottoms out. And I've talked about the power changeup maybe not necessitating the same amount of velocity separation as you see from guys who might be lower to mid-9s, because you got to commit to that 98, 99 out of the hand.
Close pitch, and Kurtz with a good eye.
Well, it looks like
the ABS challenge.
Yep.
The catcher is challenging the call of ball.
I think Nick Kurtz exercising patience well here. Indeed.
Ball is confirmed. Anaheim, Los Angeles has 1 remaining challenge.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and Chris Cuccione has the same problem I always do. I want to go back to Anaheim.
Anaheim.
California.
Los Angeles.
A couple different names, the Angels, over the course of their franchise history. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and liner into center. Here comes a run in Daryl Hernandez, and now hung up in between second and third is Carlos Cortez. So the A's able to get a run back, but they still trail by 1 as we stretch here in Anaheim.
Powerful Performance is brought to you by Xfinity.
That's right, Doc. He sure did. October 4th, 2022 would be the last time that Kurt Suzuki would put on the catcher's gear. He would throw one pitch to Michael Lorenzen, exit the ball game to a standing ovation in front of Finn's family and Oakland A's faithful at the time, who had a front row seat to watching Kurt Suzuki grow into the big leaguer that he became, an eventual World Series champion in 2019 with the Nats. And Jenny, I had the opportunity to meet Zook right after the draft. Drafted the same year. We show up in Vancouver, Canada together. We're roommates. Second on the list in most games played at catcher behind Steiny. That's putting in some work behind the plate. But Zook and I with some great experiences on and off the field together. Great learning experiences. And I want to remind folks, this isn't a guy who had a baseball career handed to him. It's a man who worked for every bit of what he walked away from with the game. And that's a guy who was a walk-on at Big Leaguer U, Cal State Fullerton. Our own Mark Kotze, a graduate of Cal State Fullerton. But do you have any idea what it takes to step up to Cal State Fullerton and walk on at that university? And not only walk on at that university, Jenny, but eventually become the starter, become a College World Series champion, drafted by the Athletics, the Johnny Bench Award winner.
And Langlers will complete the strikeout down to first. Logan O'Hoppe for strikeout for Medina as he continues his work.
And I couldn't have been more excited as a pitcher, selfishly, knowing that I was getting ready to enter my professional career with the opportunity to throw to the Johnny Bench Award winner, and also, side note, the runner-up to the Johnny Bench Award, Landon Powell.
Yeah.
All drafted together in the same season.
Pretty good tandem there. Swing and a miss from Josh Lowe.
But I can remember when Zook was called up for the first time, and a very veteran pitching staff, and understanding the relationship that Kurt and I had. Guys like Joe Blanton and Dan Herron and the rest of the veterans on the team were kind of asking me questions about, what are we getting? Who were we getting as a player? And I told them, you're spoiled as it is right now with the great Jason Kindle, who was putting down the fingers for us at the time, and Kurt Suzuki walking into a situation where you're going to have an opportunity to learn from Jason Kindle. But at the time, Jason Kindle is still very much a productive player. Eventually moved on, and they handed the reins over to Zook. And I think it took about 10 minutes or so for guys to realize, hey, you give him the chance to learn and trust him. As Low down on strikes now. Medina throwing the ball well here to start the seventh. But you give him the opportunity to start to settle in. I've seen the work ethic firsthand. I have bore witness to it from the time we were wet behind the ears in Vancouver, Canada, all the way through the minor leagues. I know who we're getting as a competitor and as a student of the game and a master of his craft behind the plate. And you don't just fall in to the big league career that Kurt Suzuki had by accident. Like I said, all-star, world champion, a dude who was able to put together 16 years in the big leagues. And it all started as a walk-on.
That's great. And you would know he caught 64 of your starts.
And countless more throughout the minor leagues.
On a one-year deal here in Anaheim. And it has been a rough couple of weeks. The Angels with just 17 wins. Tough go at home. They seemed a way to fight in the division, though, especially against these Athletics. Up 5-4 right now. Luis Medina trying to finish off Zach Neto. Trout waiting on deck. Hope he'll have to wait until the 8th. And chase 3-2. And the payoff pitch. A ground ball to short. Hernandez will field it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Luis Medina. It'll be the middle of the order coming up for the A's. True baseball fans need Wi-Fi that's so reliable it never gets caught looking. Xfinity Internet keeps you in the game at one price for 5 years and allows you to get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that. A's trail by 1, 5-4. Brent Rooker swings at the first pitch, a fly ball to center field. And Mike Trout will make the first out. And the Athletics now just down to 5 outs. Dallas running out of time here against the Angels.
Yeah, got to do some work. And I think the Halos feel pretty good about the man on the mound right now for them, Sam Bachman, who has been able to quell the threat.
There's a left-handed hitter in Tyler Soderstrom. Sody got the A's on the board in the first inning. A's scored first tonight. It was a 2 RBI single. There's been some pitches inside from the Angels tonight.
Moving some feet, and I think after a big offensive outburst like they saw last night, feel free to try to make some guys uncomfortable. I can respect it.
2-0 count now for Soderstrom. 2-1.
I know in a day and age where people are extra sensitive when it comes to pitching inside.
What?
Players, fans alike. Just want to remind people that's how you start to take ownership of sides of the plate. Hitters do it by creeping up on the plate. And if you just refuse to pitch inside, well, just think about an entire lineup starting to take away one side of the plate and owning the other.
That's going to be strike 3. Soderstrom knew it. Sinker gets him. And the strikeout makes the second out.
Well, Bachman in that bowling ball, knocking down pins right now. 98 painted on the bottom rail, so he just can't quite get it going. It'll be up to Zach Geloff here to extend this 8th inning.
Yeah, Geloff will take the pitch for a strike. One count here for Geloff. 2 outs in the 8th. Ground ball to short. And Neto over to Shawnoel. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Mike Trout leading it off for the Angels. This game summary is brought to you by Toyota. The Athletics struck first tonight, scored 2 in the first, but the Halos seemed to have an answer every frame. The A's were able to get a run across early. Aaron Savali, 5 innings pitched. He gave up 3 home runs, 5 total runs. Jack Kohanowitz on the other side settled down after the first 2 frames, retiring the last 13 batters. Halos up 5-4. Now it's Mark Leiter Jr.'s turn to try and shut down the bottom of the 8th and give the A's their last chances. Mike Trout, the first customer, and get the inside of the plate protected, right? take ownership.
That's it.
Trout walked, scored a run off the home run of Jorge Soler in the first. Of course, Trout had his own home run yesterday in the game. To 12 now on the season for the former MVP.
Leiter trying to move the baseball around right now on Mike Trout. In, out, back in.
Here's the 2-1. A ground ball backhanded by Hernandez. Well hit. Nicely fielded by the shortstop. One gone.
We're coming to Las Vegas Ballpark this summer, and you need to lock in standing room only tickets. They start at just $15 for that Vegas series. Presented by Friedman Injury Law. Catch us taking on the Brewers and the Rockies. Plus, you can enjoy exclusive nightly giveaways and can't miss moments all series long.
Will you be there?
I'll be there. I will be there.
We'll be there. Can't wait. Ground ball. Roll over to Kurtz, and Shonowell makes the second out. Couple ground balls for Leiter Jr. Now he has to get Jorge Soler. Kirby Yates.
That's it. Kirby Yates starting to loosen up now.
Soler hit his 9th homer of the season in the first inning. And now down 0-2. And the pitch. Bounced in, 1-2. A's have found themselves in a lot of one-run games so far this season. 8-7 in those contests so far.
And I think that speaks to not only the resiliency of this offense and how they're able to punch back at times even when they're down, but I think the bullpen we've seen do a good job also holding offenses at bay. But it's important to be able to win those closely contested ball games. I think it really does more just in terms of binding a team, letting you know, hey, we're never out of this thing.
And a swing and a miss. Splitter gets Soler, and a 3 up, 3 down for Leiter. We'll go to the 9th with McNeil leading off.
Dealers. And it's been the muscle that has been flexed by the Halos. 3 homers. Jorge Soler, Joe Adell. And running low. Swung the bat with authority this evening. That is where the offense for the Halos has come from. A's down to their last 3 outs here against Kirby Yates.
That'll be a first pitch strike to Jeff McNeil. A's will see the bottom of the order. McNeil, Bolte, and Hernandez. We don't have a hit tonight, but they have reached base 3 times, scoring 2 of the 4 runs for the Athletics. So the numbers there for Yates. 4 games so far this season after missing the first 36 with knee inflammation. First opportunity for him in a safe situation. Fly ball, but foul for McNeil. That'll get out of play.
Kurt Suzuki opting for fellow Hawaiian and former teammate Kirby Yates to lock down the 9th inning. To the Angels, 4 losses when leading after 8 innings. That's the most in baseball, which tells you they've at times had some issues closing the door. Kirby Yates, a man who is no stranger to closing the door.
Wow. 98 career saves for him. You had a residency in Hawaii. Do you consider yourself a bunch of the group?
Not
or
quite.
Part of the bunch, I should say.
Not quite. Oh no. Oh no.
I have a feeling he'll
That
get that back.
Yep.
Dave Rackley knows what he's doing over there. Another spirited crowd here tonight at the Big A, getting into this one in the 9th inning. Jeff McNeil battling. Here's the 1-2. Another foul ball.
Remember, Kirby Yates, All-Star as recently as 2024. 2-time All-Star.
A drive out to right. On the run is Joe Adele, and a home run for Jeff McNeil. The flying squirrel ties it up in the 9th.
You better believe he's pumped up. Down to your last 3 outs.
J-Mac with a big hack. Pop that chain.
Second elephant of the season. Hard hit towards short for Bolte. Speeds up the line, but Neto's throw will beat him there, 1 out.
Well, after just a grindy at bat from Jeff McNeil, finally gets a pitch he can put a barrel on. A breaking ball just spinning towards the bottom of the zone. Kirby Yates trying to go to that slide piece, and Jeff McNeil just drops the head. Peace out, baseball. Get out. Get out. Yeah. Talk to it, J-Mac. Talk to it. Get up and get gone.
Now another opportunity for Lawrence Butler off the bench, a situation he was in a tight ball game on Monday night. Lawrence delivered his first pinch hit of the season. And taking over for Daryl Hernandez here in the 9th spot. It was that RBI single that drove in the lone run as JT Ginn was dealing on the other side. Unfortunately, the A's lost the first contest in a 2-1 walk-off. Yesterday, thumped the Angels 14-6, and now knotted up at 5 thanks to the bat of Jeff McNeil. Here's the 1-1. Big swing and miss for Lawrence.
Law Dog trying to give the boys the lead.
And 1-2 and a swing and a miss. Lawrence waves at the splitter. Out number 2.
Been the bread and butter for Kirby Yates for a long time.
2 gone. It'll bring up Carlos Cortez. Leading off for the Athletics today. Has a hit. He was also hit by a pitch. Unfortunately got caught up in the 7th, running the bases after Nick Kurtz drove in the 4th run of the game for the A's. As we're rallying with 2 outs, Cortez going to challenge the call here.
The batter
An
is
ABS
challenging the call a strike.
Well, he challenged it right away. It felt like he knew this ball was low. And he was right.
Athletics have 2 remaining challenges.
So 1-0 count here for Cortez. Action in the bullpen now for the Angels. Taylor Saucedo warming up. The 1-1. Ellis held back. And Scott Barlow now cooking for the A's.
Kirby Yates going to ask for a new baseball, so that one didn't have many strikes in it. Let's see if this one does.
Well, there's hanging out on deck. Guys would love to extend this inning before Scott Barlow comes out for the bottom of the 9th. And a walk for Cortez. He's done a great job of that as of late, especially in this series, and now on base for Langoliers to come up.
Well, another good at bat turned in by Carlos Cortez. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. It's going to be Colby Thomas in now for Cortez. Not only adds a little more speed to the bases right now, but also helps shore you up defensively. Should Langoliers be able to find a gap, maybe something down that right field line, good chance Colby Thomas able to come all the way around and give the A's the lead.
Langoliers 0 for 3 tonight. He was also hit by a pitch. Check over on Thomas.
Cannot get picked off here.
Home runs and 27 driven in this year for the A's catcher. And the pitch. Called strike.
Sinker painted down and away. See if Langoliers can't get one of those spinners from Yates. Just kind of mix up there. Shea doing a good job. You know what the weapon is for Kirby Yates coming up for your at bat. It's that splitter. You see it low out of the hand. Go ahead and spit on the split. Make him get it up in the zone. Maybe you catch one of those sinkers, flatten it out as well.
Inside, and it did hit Shea. Second time tonight he's been hit by a pitch to reach base. Last time was in the first, and he ended up scoring a run. Would be great for the Athletics with Nick Kurtz coming up, and Kurt Suzuki's going to head out. Head to the bullpen. We'll take a break. 2 on, 2 outs, and the A's looking to rally.
The telecast is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
Back here in the 9th, Kirby Yates gave up the game-tying homer to Jeff McNeil to lead off the inning. And then with 2 outs, he walked Carlos Cortez. He also hit Shea Langolier, so 2 on, 2 outs. And Saucedo coming in, a left-hander to face the big left-hander.
Well, just the second appearance out of the lefty who just recalled after Mr. Johnson takes a trip back down to AAA after a rough outing for him last night. Saucedo in a tough spot here, facing one of the game's biggest boppers in Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz has been outstanding with runners in scoring position.
Great with 2 outs as well, at a 2-out RBI in the 7th. Of course, extended that on base streak to 43 as well. Swings at the first pitch and misses.
And Jenny, he's been even better against left-handers with runners in scoring position. 462.
I like those numbers. Thomas is at second, came in to pinch run for Cortez, and that pitch will miss outside, 1-1. Dribbler back towards the pitcher. Saucedo will go underhand to first, and that will be the final out, the top of the 9th. This game's extended thanks to that guy, Jeff McNeil, giving the ball a ride out and right. Tied game at 5.
Well, I want to take you through this at bat here that we got from Jeff McNeil. Game tying homer. And here's how we got there. Four-seam fastball, splitter, then we start chipping away at the heater. We start chipping away at that splitter, fight another heater off, and then you get your wrinkle that Jeff McNeil ironed out to tie the ball game. And right now, because of that big swing from Jeff McNeil, Scott Barlow takes the mound for the Athletics, trying to send this ball game to extra innings and give the green and gold an opportunity to win a ball game. They'll be tasked with taking on Vaughn Grissom, Joe Adell, and Mr. Peraza. There's the numbers for Scotty Barlow and how his season has unfolded so far. This will be the 23rd appearance for the veteran right-hander. And we know that Scott Barlow comes in spinning that breaking ball, spin to win, as I like to say, and we're going to need to see that here right now.
A's with a couple defensive changes as well here for the bottom of the 9th. First pitch strike into Vaughn Grissom, and here they are. It's Alika Williams now at shortstop as Lawrence Butler remains in the game in right field. The 0-1, and that's going to hit Grissom and give Barlow a base runner. The winning run on for the Angels.
Well, not an ideal way to start this 9th inning here. It goes without saying. Something uncharacteristic. Looks like Grissom going to throw a cheek at it.
That'll be a pinch runner. As Jose Siri enters the game for Grissom. Got to be careful with the man at the plate. Joe Adell's done damage today, a home run and a double. All 6 hits the Angels have been for extra bases, 3 homers and the 3 doubles. Career numbers for Adell, 3 strikeouts in the 4 times he's faced Barlow.
Well, Adele has been asked to put down a bunt a couple times, but with the way that Adele has swung the bat here tonight, I don't think that's going to be the case.
1-2. Oswald Peraza waiting on deck.
Siri with a big lead.
Count even at 2s. And now a full count. Angler's doing a good job smothering that. And the payoff pitch. Swung on, popped up. Right side, McNeil will head out and catch it in shallow right, 1 out.
McNeil at double play depth, doing a nice job of tracking this ball out to shallow right. Now, interesting, Jeff McNeil having a little chit chat with Mr. Seha.
Here's Peraza. And it's going to be an ABS challenge from Shea Langoliers.
The catcher is challenging to call a ball.
And this is a close pitch. I'm not quite sure it was a strike.
Oof.
Caller confirmed the Athletics have 1 remaining challenge.
Man.
And look how close. Two knows the count for Peraza. He'll check over. So he gets back. Big hole on the right side. Playing Peraza to pull. Swing and a miss.
Well, Barlow doing a nice job of varying looks, controlling Siri over there at first base. Siri's jab stepped a couple times over there.
The ground ball that's on the line. Geloff to second. McNeil over to first, and it's in time. Looks like the Angels
Well,
are gonna want to take a look maybe.
Peraza pretty confident he ripped off the shin guard. But before we get there, Zach Geloff with a backhand
Los
down the
Angeles
line.
is
Jeff
challenging
McNeil
the out call at first base.
able to sling it on over, and it looks like the inning will continue. Peraza appears to have beaten the throw there from McNeil. Not by a lot, but just enough. Looks like that foot's down on the bag prior to the ball getting to Nick Kurtz. We're showing the replay here on the big board in the ballpark. And the majority of the fans, at least the ones with
After
their
the
shirt
call,
off.
the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Los Angeles will retain their challenge.
With a loud applause, because that'll bring up Logan O'Hoppe here as this ball game continues, or at least the 9th inning does.
2 outs with 1 on for O'Hoppe. He's looking to push this to extras. Didn't go.
Ooh. Well, Ohapi has struggled against a breaking ball, just 214 against curveball, sweeper.
Up to the sweeper. Doesn't chase 2-0. Chase Silseth back up. And a swing and a miss. Here's the pitch. That'll be a 3-1 count. And a swing and a miss. 3-2.
And Barlow just not giving in. Ohapi yet to get that fastball. Barlow has stayed with the breaking ball. And I mentioned why. Not a ton of success for Ohapi against it. 3-2, dial it up again.
And another pitch, another strikeout. Scott Barlow getting the work done, leaves that runner stranded, and we will go to extras.
Spin to win, Scotty B. Lock it down. Let's go win a ball game.
Parkway Tavern viewing party. It's a place to be tonight in Las Vegas. Shout out to all the fans on hand, including Stumper making his rounds. Great night to be a sports fan in Vegas. Catch the A's, catch the Knights. Knights with a big win. Our first game against the Avalanche tonight. Play some pool. Why not? But Stumper's a ringer, though. Got to be careful with him. Lots of fun out there. Fun here in Anaheim. Back and forth in the early innings. A's able to tie it up at 5 off a Jeff McNeil home run in the 9th. Here we are in the 10th inning. Looking for some late inning magic out on the road. A's have been very successful, won 13 of their last 19 road games. It'll be Nick Kurtz as the runner at second base to start for the A's with Brent Rooker up. You like where the order sits here. Is Chase Silseth in the game now? A little bonus baseball on a Wednesday. Adam Frazier in at second now as a defensive replacement, and Peraza moving over to the hot corner. First swing to the first pitch, fouls it back.
Well, we know the drill. A minimum of 1 run is what you're looking for. Obviously, you'd like as many as you can get.
2-2.
21st appearance for Chase Silseth. You see the K to walk there. 12 walks, 14 punch outs. So maybe, just maybe, you can get Silseth to start to dance around that strike zone. He's got count leverage here against Rooker, who bare minimum would like to be able to get Nick Kurtz over to third.
The 1-2. Rooker lays off. Silseth was the winning pitcher on record Monday night.
And Silseth sporting some reverse splits. Righties hitting 333 against Silseth as opposed to the left-handers just 138.
The 2-2. Inside to Rooker, now full count.
And here you go. Ahead quickly and now all the way back to 3-2. Soderstrom awaits on deck.
And the payoff pitch, taking all the way, it'll be strike 3. ABS challenge.
The batter's challenging the call of strike.
Well, I'm not sure Brent Rooker was fully committed to the cause when he challenged the pitch.
Call is confirmed. Athletics have no remaining challenges.
And Brindwicker might have thought it was up. Unfortunately, caught the top of the strike zone. You see him challenge it on the way out of the box.
Check back, or at least look Kurtz back to second. And the pitch to Soderstrom, swung on a foul. Sody 1 for 4, drove in those 2 runs in the first. Nice to bookend your day with a couple of stakes. Sody swings out towards left center field, and it'll get down. Kurtz getting waved home. The ball gets past both the outfielders. It's rolling towards the warning track. To third goes Soderstrom, and the Athletics up 6-5.
What a break for the Athletics. Soderstrom going to poke it out in that left center gap, and you'll see Mike Trout and Lowe start to converge on the baseball. Here at contact, you see Sody just keeping his head down right on the point of contact. But from there, this becomes an issue defensively. As you see Mike Trout and Lowe start to converge. Trout kind of lays back, and I think that may have confused Lowe. And Lowe ends up having to track this ball all the way down to left field. My goodness, what a break for the A's.
In the air to Lowe. Scored a single for Soderstrom.
Well, here you'll see Trouty. And once he realizes this ball is down, Kurtz headed to third. Kurtz was likely going to be held until that ball got through Lowe.
2-0 now for Geloff.
So the A's able to grab that all-important one, and now in a great position to grab that second insurance run here.
Insurance just 90 feet away. Geloff looking for his first hit tonight, 0 for 4.
Well, you just need the ball in the air to the outfield right now. That's what you're trying to do. Give Tyler Soderstrom an opportunity to tag up.
Calls it back, 2-2. Hogan Harris still have the bottom of the 10th. And a swing and a miss. Geloff strikes out, 2 gone.
Fastball just too much for Geloff to catch up to.
It's the opportunity for a sacrifice over, 2 outs, and they're gonna send Jeff McNeil to the open base at first.
I can understand that with the way that Jeff McNeil has swung the bat. He's put the ball in play. Obviously, McNeil responsible for the reason we are in this situation right now.
First and third with 2 outs, and a big spot for Henry Bolte to try and add the insurance.
What you're doing right now, if you're Kurt Suzuki, is you're opting to not face a great contact hitter in Jeff McNeil, the guy who did hit the homer early, but trying to maybe take advantage of a young big leaguer in Henry Bolte at the plate right now.
Henry Bolte to the right side, That's where Frazier came in. Frazier to first and just gets the ball there in time. The A's got their run across. See if they can hold a 6-5 lead now as we go to the bottom of the 10th.
The Stripes come to town. That starts Friday night. That's May 29th. You can kick off the summer with a high-stakes weekend featuring a beach-style giveaway for Sacramento Saturday and a kids' water bottle giveaway for Stompin' Sunday. Don't miss the chance to see this legendary AL matchup. Get your tickets right now at athletics.com/tickets. Got ourselves a little bit of a ball game here. Athletics able to take advantage of some defensive miscues tonight. A couple of them out in left field. And that's what led to the Soderstrom single/triple. He ended up on third base with that error by Lowe out in left field. And right now the Athletics clinging to a 1-run lead. The Angels will send Logan O'Hoppe out to second base as the runner to start here in the 10th. And it will be the man in left field who leads this inning off, and you know that Brandon Lowe is looking for a little get back here after a rough game defensively.
And Josh Lowe with the 2-run homer in the second, and then those errors. Squared around a bunt, pulls back, they check him, he didn't go 1-0. Brandon Lowe, Josh Lowe, Nathaniel the brother.
A lot of them.
Squares around and a fouled bunt. The bunt attempt not successful. See if he goes back to it. Geloff on the grass.
Well, 1 sack bunt so far this year for Lowe.
Pulls back. 2-1.
Like a pretty good pitch.
Get it down.
Well, the A's out of challenges. Here in extra innings. One challenge remains for the Angels. Fouled again. 2-2, you stay committed, you swing away.
I got to believe he's going to start to swing the bat here.
Hit the ball the right side.
That would be some good advice.
He stays committed, and guess what? That commitment is now an out. Strikeout to lead it back to Zach Neto.
Yeah, look, it's a guy who's been asked to put a bunt down one time this year. And Hogan Harris opting for the breaking ball. You can see the bat head of Lowe, and that had been the issue in the initial attempt.
Neto is going to
The batter
challenge
challenging the call of strike.
the strike call.
Well, I'm not sure Neto's going to like that either.
Call is confirmed. Los Angeles has no remaining challenges.
That was their final challenge. Now we'll just play baseball here in extras. Regular baseball with that runner on second, you know?
Yeah.
That's where O'Hoppe is. One out, here in the bottom of the 9th. Neto was the big threat on Monday. And another strike. 0 for 4 tonight, 2 strikeouts. There steps off.
Small sample size, but one that favors the left-hander. 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs against Hogan Harris.
And here's the pitch. Swung on, and it'll be a bouncer. Hard play for Williams, but he gets it to first as O'Hoppe moves up to third.
What a play by Williams. He's got to charge this baseball as Neto tied up with a little spinner. This ball's got some anglish on it. You can see that ball start to kick and spin the other direction. And Williams doing a fine job of not only charging it, but reacting to the spin. Goes to the bare hand. Able to sling it over there for the out. Great play, baby. That's right. That's right, Hogue.
Mark Kotze out on the mound. Have a conversation with the infield and the battery. This was the matchup he had wanted on Monday night. Hogan Harris against Mike Trout.
Well, and you got to believe that the game plan here is to attack Mike Trout with elevated fastballs.
Tying run for the Angels 90 feet away. And they're going to go ahead and walk Mike Trout after the discussion on the mound. Potentially put him at first.
They'll move that game plan on over to Shonowell. Get your left on left matchup, which we've talked a lot about with Hogan Harris. Doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but I think Hogan more than well equipped to handle this at bat here.
Shonowell 1 for 4, had a double. He's faced Hogan a couple of times, 1 for 2, and driven in a run. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 10th. Swung on and missed.
There's that good hard elevated fastball just holding its plane to the top. Shonowell can't get on plane.
The 1-1. 2-1 now.
Very close.
Here's the pitch. 3-1 now. And it'll be ball 4. Loads the bases up for Jorge Soler.
A couple of fastballs just missing away. Oh, so close. And now you've got your hands full with Jorge Soler.
Langeliers will take the opportunity to head out to the mound, slow the heartbeat of Hogan. Get a good game plan for Soler. For that final out in a 1-run game. First pitch swung on a ground ball, and McNeil will handle it, and the Athletics victorious here in Game 3, a 6-5 win. Dallas, they scored first. They had to come from behind. Jeff McNeil in the middle of all of it, tying up the game, and the A's able in extra innings to come away 6-5.
Just a great show of resiliency by this Athletics club tonight. Aaron Savali did his level best to try to keep the ball club in a position to win the game. Got through 5 innings, turned it over to a bullpen who was able to do enough to keep the score close enough, Jenny. And that's all you needed as this offense scratched and clawed its way back into the game. You had some late power on display from Jeff McNeil, who extended the ball game, and fortunately able to take advantage of some defensive miscues out there in left field, not only early in the ball game, but late in the ball game as well. And the A's able to pull out a big extra inning win here tonight.
Huge. They go up 2-1 in the series. Of course, game 4 coming up tomorrow. Try to win a series behind Luis Severino. He'll be making his 10th start. And Jose Soriano, who's been so good, at a rough outing his last go against the Dodgers. It'll be a night game tomorrow. 6 o'clock. We'll be on the air here on NBC Sports California, and can't wait to see you then. But plenty to wrap up tonight. Townie and Shooty in the studio. Stay tuned. A's Cast on NBC Sports, presented by Toyota, starts right now. Ooh, sorry.